My sister said, "You're crazy, he can't be cheating on you." I didn't show any proof, I just waited. On his birthday, his phone spoke on its own, the whole family was listening. My sister said that on a day when I was sitting at the kitchen table, a cold cup of coffee in my hand, and a weight in my chest that I didn't know how to put into words. She didn't even look at me when she said it. She laughed a little and went on, "You're being paranoid. He would never cheat on you." There was pity in her voice, the kind people use when they think you're saying something unhealthy. I didn't argue. I slid my phone into my pocket, the same phone filled with his messages, time-stamped screenshots, and a contact saved under a name that definitely wasn't Mike from work. I didn't show the proof. I waited. I'm a pretty ordinary guy. I live in an apartment just outside Chicago, the kind with thin walls and a landlord who never fixes anything on the first call. Rent is always late. My credit cards are nearly maxed out. I lost my full-time job last year, and when my health insurance ran out, I postponed a dental procedure because pain was cheaper than debt. Life was already loud and crowded, so the sound of betrayal was clear to me even if no one else wanted to hear it. Especially my sister, who always talked about keeping the peace in the family, who chose comfort over truth every single time. Alan and I had been together for 7 years. We bought an IKEA couch on installments, argued about which detergent to use, did laundry on Sundays, and fell asleep halfway through whatever Netflix series we were pretending to watch. From the outside, it looked solid. Inside, something had been going quiet for a while. He came home later than usual. He kept his phone face down. He took it into the shower and never turned the screen off. When I asked, he smiled and said, "You're overthinking." Everyone believed him. It was easier that way. I didn't fight him. I didn't create a scene. I watched. I took extra shifts where I could, drove Uber at night, and listened to my own thoughts while the city lights blurred past the windshield. I was angry, but I kept it contained, like something dangerous you don't pull out unless you're ready to burn everything around you. His birthday was coming up. 30. My sister insisted on a family dinner. She said, "Let's do this right. No drama." I nodded. Somewhere inside me, a plan was forming, but it wasn't anything dramatic or cinematic. I didn't want revenge the way movies sell it. I wanted the truth to speak for itself. We were all sitting at a casual Italian place, the kind with chipped plates and pasta that always tasted a little too salty. My mom was there, my sister and her husband, a couple of cousins, and Alan, who looked completely relaxed. He was wearing the blue sweater I'd given him last year. I ordered the cake. The candles were lit. Everyone sang "Happy Birthday." I watched his face closely. There was no fear in his eyes. Just confidence. When the cake was cut, his phone vibrated. Once. Then again. He picked it up without thinking, glanced at the screen, and the color drained from his face. Before he could do anything, Siri's voice cut through the table. Message from Laura. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." For a second, everything froze. It felt like time stalled mid-breath. My sister's fork slipped from her hand and clattered onto the plate. My mom said, "What?" Alan tried to shut the phone off, but it was too late. Another message came through. "Don't forget what you promised." I didn't say a word. I just breathed. The silence I'd been carrying for months finally left my body, and I hadn't forced it out. The truth had found its own way. There was no screaming in the restaurant. No dramatic explosion. Just awkward questions, Alan's broken explanations, and eventually him standing up and leaving. My sister looked at me with tears in her eyes. She whispered, "I'm sorry." I nodded. It was enough. That night, I went home alone. The apartment felt empty, but lighter, like a room after someone opens a window. I sat on the couch and asked myself something I'd avoided for a long time. What do I actually want, not what am I willing to endure? The weeks that followed weren't magically better. Bills still came. My job was still part-time. I still worried about money every time I opened my banking app. But I started therapy at a community clinic that charged on a sliding scale. I talked to a credit counselor who didn't judge me. I rebuilt my relationship with my sister, slowly, with boundaries this time. Alan sent apology texts. Long ones. Short ones. Late-night ones. I didn't reply. Revenge wasn't destroying him. Revenge was choosing myself again. It was stepping out of a role where I was always doubting my own reality. Months later, while driving Uber, a passenger noticed I was quiet and asked how my night was going. Somehow, my story came out. When I finished, he said, "You handled that with a lot of patience." I laughed and told him the truth. I was just tired of screaming in my head. My life still isn't perfect. But when I look in the mirror now, I don't see someone crazy. I see someone who trusted the truth, let time testify, and finally set himself free. And sometimes, in ordinary American life, that's the biggest miracle there is. If this story stayed with you, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. Your support genuinely helps these stories reach more people who need them. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We read them all. Thank you for listening, for your time, and for being part of this community.